Hello, Class 2023. My name is Sean Bigler, and I have the honor of being your commencement speaker today. I'd like to spend my time talking about my journey at Colorado State University Global Campus, as well as what a leader is. We've all had good and bad leaders in our lives, but what kind of leader are you? Some of you may sit here as we graduate today and say that you are not a leader or have no interest in becoming one. But I submit to you that at some point in your life, you will be thrust into a leadership role. So, what kind of leader are you? A leader can serve in an unofficial or official capacity. However, everyone can become a leader. A good leader can help change the world. This takes time and determination, as well as critically evaluating yourself along the way. If you are wondering how to begin your leadership journey, you should start with small steps. In his 2014 University of Osman commencement speech, U.S. Navy Admiral William H. McRaven stated, quote, "If you make your bed every morning, you have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed turns into many tasks completed." McRaven, 2014. Admiral McRaven further goes on to state, quote, "If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right." McRaven, 2014. In this commencement speech, I will define what I have learned on this journey to become a leader I am today. Time management, traits of leadership, the power of influence, leadership style, and the role of ethics are all paramount traits you must develop as you grow as a leader. One of the most important lessons I learned at my time in Colorado State University Global Campus is the importance of time management. Time management is all about prioritizing what is most important and not wasting time on the things that are not. David Crenshaw explained in his 2016 course, Time Management Fundamentals, that multitasking, or quote, switch tasking, quote, Crenshaw 2016, steals your time away from you. Crenshaw states, switching tasks, quote, occurs when you attempt to perform multiple action-requiring tasks at the same time, Crenshaw 2016. He further explains, quote, rather than getting more done faster, you get worse results slower, quote, Crenshaw 2016. Crenshaw tells us how to battle these effects with, quote, 3 principles of productivity, quote, Crenshaw 2016. He states that as these he describes these as space, mind, and time, Crenshaw 2016. There's one thing I have had trouble with during my time at school was keeping my workspace clear. I have a wife, 2 dogs, a toddler, and 1 more kid on the way. It was nearly impossible to find a clean, organized spot in the house in which to do my work. It's important to keep your workspace clear and make a productive place to do your work. The second principle is mind. With all the distractions life throws at us, this one can be tricky. Crenshaw simplifies this as, quote, keep your mind clear, quote, Crenshaw 2016. Much like multitasking, with a clouded mind you will not be able to truly focus on your work. I used to put noise-canceling headphones on at home so I could work effectively even with the distractions that were around me. The last principle is time. Crenshaw theorizes that if you identify your most valuable activities, or your MVAs, Crenshaw 2016, you will be able to achieve balance and be more productive. To put it another way, we all have commitment in our lives. Work, family, and special events going on, etc. Going back to school adds a huge new MVA to your list. However, it is highly obtainable if you practice good time management skills. Time management is one of the most important practices to adopt early on in your life. It will not only help you in your professional, but personal life. Every leader is different, and different things drive them. Pierre Casse states in his 2014 article, The New Drivers of Leadership, that there are 3 dimensions of leadership, Casse 2014. The first one is leading oneself, Casse 2014. This is defined as the ability to be an effective role model, Casse 2014. If your team does not see that you are doing what is right, why would they do what's right? It's important to show them the right and ethical way to do things. The second principle is, quote, leading the team, quote, Casse 2014, which is the ability to, quote, help people in a team achieve together what they would not be able to achieve alone, quote, Casse 2014. A good leader understands they are not alone in their mission. If they inspire their team to do great work, they will achieve a level that they would never have been able to accomplish on their own. The last principle is leading the organization, Casse 2014. Casse defines this as the ability, quote, the ability to move an organization forward while making sure continued performance improvement is beneficial to all those involved, as well as the wider society, Casse 2014. Put it another way, a leader needs to be able to manage his team while also making sound decisions that are overall good for the organization. While on paper these steps look easy, I believe this is a constant struggle to obtain. A good leader must constantly evaluate themselves and adjust to ensure that they are meeting these goals. It's important for a leader to understand the power they have to influence those around them. Take a moment and think of who you would consider your best boss or leader. What made them so special? Were they nice, funny, courageous? Were they easy? They let you just do whatever you want? Ronald Wire and Philip Messini, in their 2019 article Leadership and Influence, defined positive leadership as, quote, positive leadership influence moves an organization toward ends that are beneficial not only for the organization, but for the employees and society at large. It works to overcome the negative aspects of human nature. Wilde and Messini, 2019. Understanding this definition, how did your example stack up? A positive leader not only has to move the organization forward, but also must move it forward in the best interest of everyone. This model strives to push past the human negative tendencies, and that is no easy feat. Now that we've thought of a good example, think of the worst leader you ever had. It probably came to you pretty quickly. Were they mean, micromanaging, non-communicative? Wilde and Messini explained that the negative influence, Wilde and Messini 2019, quote, does not just have the opposite effect, does just the opposite. It preys upon the weakness of human nature and primarily serves the interests of the autocrats, quote, Wilde and Messini 2019. If you have had a terrible boss, you would probably agree with this definition. Now that you've seen both paths laid out before you, which path will you take? It is important to understand your development as a leader. It's important to understand in your development as a leader what your leadership style is. Alexander Lyon, in his 2019 video, Leadership Foundations, Leadership Styles and Models, Lyon tells us that there are three types of leader: autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. Lyon 2019. Autocratic is that A-type, no-nonsense leader. Lyon defines autocratic key traits as, quote, command and control, boss-centered leaders, centralized authority, quote, Lyon 2019. This is not the boss you get a drink with after work. They are not interested in your opinion, and they tend to, quote, rely on threats and punishments, quote, Lyon 2019. An advantage of this leadership style is that they are, quote, highly effective, quote, Lyons 2019. These bosses know how to get things done, and done well, no matter what the cost. An obvious disadvantage to this leadership style is, quote, low morale, quote, Lyon 2019. Team members typically do not work too well with this type of leader. I know I do not. I believe that team members want to feel like they are contributing to the overall goal. This brings me to my next leadership type, democratic. This is the leadership style I match with the most. Democratic leaders value collaboration. Democratic leaders, quote, value collaboration, strive to make the best decisions, and seek feedback. Lyon 2019. Admiral McRaven states in his commencement speech, quote, for the boat to make it to a destination, everyone must paddle. McRaven 2014. An advantage of this style is, quote, high employee performance, quote, Lyon 2019. While a disadvantage is, quote, high investment time, Lyon 2019. While you will get the job done with team member support, this is not a style that responds well under pressure. The last leadership style is, quote, laissez-faire, Lyon 2019. This leadership style is, quote, hands-off, quote, Lyon 2019, and less directive, quote, Lyon 2019. Critics of this style argue that it is not a good leadership style as not much gets done. However, it could possibly work under calm circumstances. Lastly, ethics must be in the center of who you are as a leader. Dr. P. Venerashee Saad defines what ethics is in his 2015 article, Ethics at Workplace. Dr. Saad states, quote, ethics is a social discussion of what ought to be considered for overall human well-being, including the broader concepts of fairness, justice, and injustice, what rights and responsibilities are operable under certain situations, and what virtue society admires and wants to emphasize, quote, Saad 2014. To be an ethical leader, you must do what's right. This is not just when you are afraid you might be caught, but at all times. People will look to you as an example. Your decisions will be scrutinized, and your decision will be scrutinized. You must ensure that integrity and ethics are in all you do. Do you believe that everyone can be a leader? I do. However, It is no easy feat. In fact, Admiral McRaven says, quote, "You will fail. You will likely fail often, and it will be painful. It will be discouraging. At times, it will test you to your very core." Quote, McRaven, 2014. But I submit to you, fellow classmates, that you must try. You must do all that you can do to consistently change, or evaluate, change, and grow. This is how true leaders are forged. They are tested in the fires and trials of failures. With dedication and strive to obtain these principles I have outlined for you, I genuinely believe that all of you can be a leader. So, my fellow classmates, I ask again, what kind of leader do you want to be? Thank you.